73,000 plus people turned up on day one of the historic Boxing Day Test match at the MCG, and most of them, I'm guessing, came to see two things. One, a good performance from the Australian bowlers, and the other, probably a Virat Kohli masterclass. The good performance by the Australian bowlers didn't quite happen, with the exception of Pat Cummins, who picked up those 2 wickets to fall on day one. As far as the Virat Kohli masterclass is concerned, that could still be on its way, because Virat is batting 47 not out at the moment. Giving him company on the crease is Cheteshwar Pujara with 68 not out. You are watching ESPN Cricinfo Match Day, brought to you by Maruti Suzuki. Joining me, VVS Lakshman and Brad Hodge. As always, at the end of the day, we ask you to rank certain things from the play that we've seen. Firstly, India's opening combination. Points that you'd give from 1 to 10.
For the way they batted, or?
Yes.
Oh, okay. 7 out of 10.
Okay, 7 out of 10. And India's opening combination, the way the decision to go with these two.
Okay, 3 out of 10.
Okay, Brad, to you, India's opening combination, first for the way they batted.
Yeah, I think they did a good job. Maybe 6.5, 7 out of 10.
Okay, and the Indian opening combination they decided to go with?
Combination, probably 5.
5. Okay, the MCG pitch.
5.
Brad?
Probably less than that. I'll probably say 3 actually.
3. Okay. Tim Paine's captaincy.
5.
Brad?
Probably 7. I don't think he had much to work with today with the way the wicket played.
Fair enough. Lion's introduction in the 8th over.
7.
Brad?
I'll give it a 7.
Okay. And finally, Australia's bowling performance on the whole.
6.
Brad?
I'll say 7. I think the economy rate of their bowling was pretty good with minimal opportunity to take wickets. So pretty good, 7.
7, okay, on a day that India has lost 2 wickets. But of course, as Brad mentioned, the conditions aren't really there for the bowlers to extract something. Okay, I'm just going to go back to that question because, when we were talking about the MCG pitch, it got a smile on your face. Why is that? Have you never seen a pitch like this in Australia?
No,
before?
I've seen.
As a player or as a broadcaster?
I think in this series so far, in the last 2 test matches, we've been talking a lot about the wicket. At Perth, we talked about the wicket, the nature of the wicket, the cracks opening up on the second day of the test match itself. And again, today we've seen one ball in the end fly from the good length area above Tim Paine, one bounce into the stands. Yeah. And then the second or third over where the ball didn't even carry, again Tim Paine gives 4 byes. So you don't expect this in Australia. Usually one thing which is very, very consistent in Australia is the bounce and the pace. Unfortunately in this test series so far, barring Adelaide again was on the slower side. The wickets haven't been great.
Okay, let's talk about the man who always loves to spend a lot of time on the crease. 200 balls he's faced, Cheteshwar Pujara, doing what he does best, hole one end up.
Fantastic, and it's not so easy for what he does. Sometimes he doesn't get credit for what he does, but to play in this fashion, and what was really good in 2018 was the amount of runs he's getting in overseas conditions. Because if you see his record, he's been phenomenal in subcontinent condition, but the way at number 3 important position on overseas tours, the way he's occupying the crease, the playing typical Pujara innings, where he's consuming a lot of deliveries but playing on the merit of the ball, which is exemplary. To have that kind of focus, that kind of concentration is never easy. And I think whenever he's getting an opportunity, he's also capitalizing on that. It's not that he's going in a shell. So it's brilliant innings. And what India would look from Pujara tomorrow is to convert this into a double 100. Not only 100, but a double 100. And if he can do that, I think India will be in a very formidable position by tea tomorrow.
Okay, Brad, we've been talking about the Indian openers not being able to give the start that India wanted. I'm talking about the first 2 test matches. But then Cheteshwar Pujara now looks, almost certain that he will hold one end up, get you those runs at number 3. Do you think the dressing room will feel a lot assured now when Pujara walks out, because they know here's one man who will get them the runs and hold one end up?
Well, you know exactly what you're going to get. You're just going to get a cricketer that's going to fight hard for his wicket, and put the bowlers under pressure and continually to grind them down. And that's exactly what Pujara's done. He'll give a lot of confidence to the captain, Virat Kohli, who's sitting there waiting to bat at number 4, knowing that not a lot of panic's going to happen when Pujara's there, and he just works hard, plays within his boundaries of his game, and gets good results at the end of the play. So, especially when he got that first 100 at Adelaide, you sort of thought that he'd have a good series all through the summer, and it's looking that way.
I can see that, near the third man area, he's got the most runs, 18, but that's not surprising. He just loves playing those cut shots, and then he's, made most of it here.
Yeah, again, he plays to the situation and he plays to the conditions. Whenever the ball was really pitched up, a over pitch ball, he was playing through the mid-off, more often than not playing right off mid-off. And whenever there was width offer, he was playing very, very late. And that's what we've seen in Adelaide. That's what we're seeing even today. So I think that's very important to know what are the shots you can play on a certain wicket.
Yeah.
Not once you see him play the on the rise, flamboyant cover drive. So that shows the kind of concentration, the kind of focus he has in picking up the lines and the lengths. And the control he has got over his instincts, which is phenomenal. Now he's also starting to play the hook shot frequently, which is good. So what happens is when you're playing against the quicker bowlers, he's got now shots to play off the back foot, and also he's got shots to play on the front foot really pitched up.
Okay, now let's talk about the man who's 47 not out at the moment, Virat Kohli. It was unusual to see Virat, I wouldn't use the word struggle, but there were a few cuts here and there, close misses, missing his stump with an inside edge and various things like that. But now he seems to have settled in, playing the usual fashion. Ominous sign then for the Australian team?
Yeah, again, I think except for the last 4 or 5 overs when they've taken the second new ball and the ball was swinging, and especially when Mitchell Starc was bowling, I just felt that Virat was not at his best. But right from the start of the innings, he looks in total control. The kind of authority with which he easily can rotate the strike, and if you see his strike rate, it's always up there. And some of the glorious shots he plays down the ground, balls which are pitched off stump, just outside the off stump, using his wrist, using the bottom hand to play through the mid-on region, play through the mid-wicket region, is fantastic to see. And also he knows what is the game plan of the Australian bowlers to him. Not many balls they're going to give on the pads. They're going to bowl 4th, 5th stump line, almost play with his patience, and that's where he has to be a little careful, because he's got a tendency, if he's not getting to play the balls 4 or 5 consecutive deliveries where he's forced to leave, then he's got a tendency to reach out towards the ball, and that's what the Australian bowlers want, and that's something which Virat has to be mindful.
Okay, let's quickly take a look at how Virat Kohli got his runs. 47 not out, remember, he is at the moment, and I wouldn't be surprised if it's, I was just going to say onside, and this is that one area that he gets a lot of his run. This is where his wrists actually come in.
Yeah, and that's why I was a little surprised, and that's the reason why I've given 5 to Tim Paine. Because when the line of attack to Virat Kohli is off stump, outside the off stump, you want your mid-on fielder to be straight. You don't want the ball to go left off mid-on. It's fine going right off mid-on and between mid-on and mid-wicket. That's a risky shot to hit from off stump, outside the off stump. But a lot of shots which he was playing with his wrist was going between the bowler and the mid-on. And that's where I felt that, he should have had his mid-on fielder straight. He missed a trick there, and also the second thing about Tim Paine's captaincy was he overbowled Mitchell Marsh, and instead of using his premier spinner, who's been the best bowler on display in this series, Mitchell Marsh bowling 15 overs and Nathan Lyon bowling 21 overs. So I thought Tim Paine missed a trick, but brilliant batting from Virat Kohli, and that's what you expect from Virat Kohli. Someone who's got wrist can easily maneuver the field.
Okay, interesting point, because you gave 7 points, Brad, to Tim Paine's captaincy. What did you make of this, the point that VVS talks about, especially the way Virat Kohli bats? Probably a straighter, mid-on he could have had, or long on at the later stage of his innings?
Yeah, he could have, especially if he was challenging the stumps. He could have put a little bit more pressure on him, in that mid-wicket, straight mid-on areas. And I think we'll see a lot more of those fields actually as the day goes on, or as the match goes on. Actually, we'll see some catches on the straight pitch. We'll see some catching mid wickets. But having said that, it's very hard to toil away for quicks and get all your plans right when you've only got a couple of wickets to your name. But Virat was dominant. He looked comfortable with the crease and played within his strengths. And as a captain, you've got to probably try and take him away from those strengths, and that's probably where Tim just probably needed to adjust a little bit.
Okay, let's take a look at the comparison between Cheteshwar Pujara and Virat Kohli. They've stick together, a good partnership for India. Remember, Pujara has played 200 balls and Virat Kohli 107 balls at the moment, and this is the balls that they left alone, defended and driven. And you could see that, of course, defense there for Pujara. You'd expect he likes to defend the ball, but he's left more balls than Pujara. So, he really knows what he's doing there and where his off stump is.
Yeah, and also, to be fair to Pujara, I think the Australian bowlers were making him play a lot more deliveries. And that's why Pujara, if you see, is defended a lot more than Virat Kohli. With Virat Kohli, the plan is very clear.
Get him to edge.
Yeah, stick to the fourth stump line, fifth stump line, wide outside the off stump, almost play with his patience. And that's very evident in the way they also had the field set. There was a deep point and the offside was packed. There was one deep square leg and there was a mid-on which was a little wide. So I think that's why Virat Kohli showed a lot of determination and discipline in leaving those balls, except the last 4 overs where he almost chased a wide delivery from Mitchell Starc.
Okay, Virat Kohli, I said 47 not out, ominous sign for Australia, but a quick word that he could have almost been out in 47. That catch, you think was a catch by Tim Paine or very tough?
Very tough catch. And credit to Tim Paine, he's been brilliant as a keeper, very safe. Some brilliant catches in this series so far, and that's what you expect from the keeper. On the right side, low catch, wouldn't carry to the first slip, and he full stretched he was, and such catches get stuck to your hand, but brilliant, 100 out of 100 as far as effort is concerned. A big miss, keeping in mind that Virat Kohli is in ominous form, batting well, and at that stage with second new ball just been taken, if Virat Kohli would have been out, Ajinkya Rahane exposed to the new ball, things can be different, and you cannot afford to give a reprieve to a batsman of the caliber of Virat Kohli.
Brad, it was a drop catch or not for you?
Yeah, it was. It carried, so it's got to be classed as a drop catch. But, late in the day, diving away to your right, just got a little bit of glove on it. Would love to have held on to it, but unfortunate for Mitchell Starc, it popped out. So tough chance, but they're the chances you get on a low and slowish wicket. So unfortunate for Tim Paine and luck for Virat Kohli.
Okay, the record in chief for Australia up until now in the 2 test matches that we've seen has been Nathan Lyon. He's picked up the most wickets. Hasn't been able to pick a wicket now, a single wicket on day 1 of the MCG test. India have neutralized Nathan Lyon. Has that got to do something with the way he's bowling or the conditions on offer?
I think it's the way he's bowling, because conditions definitely are slow, but Nathan Lyon has performed even on a Bangalore wicket, which was slow on the first day on Bangalore wicket. I just feel going by him not being able to bowl a lot more overs than what we've seen in Adelaide or even in Perth, and Mitchell Marsh giving him the rest, only 21 overs, maybe he's tired at the moment, and that's probably, I think you have to use your body a lot more on this wicket where the wicket is very slow. But as the match progresses, I'm sure that the wicket will assist Nathan Lyon. I just feel that he's a little bit tired compared to what he was in Adelaide and Perth.
Okay, interesting point to make. Let's see what the stats actually tell us. As VVS is pointing out here, not so much the pitch, it's the way Nathan Lyon has been bowling, and which is why he hasn't been effective so far. Let's take a look at the first innings. Now, this is across the 3 test matches, the 2 test matches that are over and the 3rd test match that is on at the moment. We see a major drop in terms of, good length deliveries there. We're seeing the first, the second, 92, 97, it's dropped down to almost 30% in the 3rd test match. Something that he can work on, Brad, going into day 2?
Well, they're good statistics for him to look at, and he can certainly adjust tomorrow. I mean, he's troubled every batsman throughout this series, and today he's probably looked his most placid. So if he goes back, he'll have a look at those statistics with the bowling coach, I'm sure, and he'll analyse, what he could have done better. And I think he'll make that adjustment tomorrow and probably be more dangerous tomorrow as well. Okay,
let's also try and see where the Indian batsmen got their runs off Nathan Lyon. He usually is immaculate as far as his line and length is concerned. There you have it. It's again the cover region, 19 runs. Also because of the fact that he was coming round the wicket, it's much straighter that way. Had he been coming over, you tend to play him on the onside.
Not necessarily. I think it's more to do with the full delivery. Because when you saw the lengths he bowled, it was a lot more fuller than we saw in the first 2 test matches. That's why I think the Indian batsman, especially Mayank Agarwal, was able to put him across through the cover region. And even if you see the onside, there were not many towards the right of mid-wicket. It was more towards the long-on fielder, which also shows that the ball has been pitched full. And all the great spinners I played with or interacted with, if you're not using your body or your body is tired, invariably the ball will either land short or it will be full. But if you're using your body and if you're finishing your action, the more number of deliveries which will be pitched on the good length will be a lot more than when you're not using your body. So there's a clear difference with the pitch map he had in Adelaide and in Perth compared to what we saw today.
Okay, the over pitch delivery is
Yeah.
what you think is allowing the Indian batsman to drive. We spoke about Mayank Agarwal, got those runs off Nathan Lyon in that cover region, a couple of boundaries there too. Let's talk about the man who got the wickets for Australia on day one. That was Pat Cummins. He picked up the 2 wickets to fall for India. Brad, I'll come to you. What is it that he's doing different from the other bowlers that has made him successful today?
Well, I think he's just hit the wicket hard, hasn't he? He's adjusted a little bit better than the other two, where he bowled quite a foolish length early on and then changed their plan after the first hour. And you could see that he used the short pitch, his pace, to his advantage. Troubled Vihari with a short ball, troubled a couple of others, but generally he challenged the top of the stumps pretty hard, and also from chest down to hip, he was very good. Didn't bowl many wide balls or down the leg side, just kept challenging the batsmen and then questioning their technique on a flat wicket.
Okay, let's take a look at the lengths that Pat Cummins bowled. Was it different to the ones that he'd been bowling in the first 2 test match? You were of the opinion that short a good length is the correct length to bowl, and is that what Pat Cummins was doing?
Yeah, absolutely, and that by default is length. Even on a wicket which offers swing, if you see Pat Cummins, very few deliveries he'll really pitch the ball up. He's more hit the deck bowler, just like Bumrah and Ishant Sharma. And I think on this wicket, the more number of deliveries he bowls, good length, short of good length, he will get more wickets. And he uses the short pitch deliveries effectively, the bounces effectively, and the angle with which he bowls wide of the crease, close to the crease, but the ball angling into the batsman, almost forcing the batsman to play at it. And sometimes he can get steep bounce from the length. So I think that's why on this wicket is quite dangerous.
Okay, because of the logic that you offer as far as his natural length is concerned, you would have imagined Hazelwood also would have done well on this track?
He's done well, especially if you see the second and third spell. He was much better than the first spell, because in the first spell he was looking to pitch the ball up. Both Mitchell Starc and Hazelwood were trying to swing the ball, which there was no swing on offer. But I thought Hazelwood bowled well in the second and third spell and in the remaining part of the day. But I think Pat Cummins has got an advantage where the ball comes into the batsman. Hazelwood is someone who takes the ball away from the batsman. He's got delivery which comes into the batsman, but not as evident as what you see from Pat Cummins because of the Pat Cummins action.
Okay, let's take a look at the length that all Australian pacers have bowled on day one. Remember, Pat Cummins is the only one that has picked up those 2 wickets, and we've got, this is a combination of the lengths that were bowled by all the 3 fast bowlers that Australia had on display on day one. And if you take a look at that, 2 wickets that have come are again short of good length. Brad, that would be, again, you spoke about the stat that Nathan Lyon would be looking at. These would be good stats for the Australian bowlers to look at end of day one going into day 2.
Yeah, I think they adjusted the lengths pretty well. But the important thing is to make sure you use your short pitch ball with venom and use it at the right time. So you can go over the top with it. And, we've seen in the last 2 tests where the short ball, when it's been used correctly, it has been damaging. I think that's the only difference, that Patrick Cummins today used the shorter pitch ball with some real venom.
Since we're talking about the lengths, why is it that Indian batsmen got hit? We saw it with Hanuma Vihari, Cheteshwar Pujara. Is it also because of the bounce slightly being different compared to the 2 pitches that we saw before this?
Yeah, absolutely. It's because of the bounce. Majority of the times in Australia, from the length where Pujara was hit or where Arman Vihari was in uncomfortable position when he got out, usually you can leave these deliveries or you can easily sway away or duck against those deliveries. But here you're almost forced to play at the delivery. So it's very important for the batsman to make sure that he's ready or he's in a position to play the delivery instead of just blindly looking to leave the delivery. And as closely as possible. If the batsman watches the ball, it will be better. You can't just take the eyes away from the delivery.
Okay, let's now talk about the debutant, Mayank Agarwal. You didn't give too many points as far as the opening combination is concerned. I'm guessing that's because of Hanuma Vihari opening. Okay, let's talk about Mayank Agarwal. What do you make of him?
Fantastic.
Yeah?
You know, just like Prithvi Shaw showed on his debut against West Indies, I think credit to Mayank Agarwal. He came, he played his natural game, was not overawed by the big occasion, because playing Boxing Day Test match, especially the first day of the Boxing Day Test match, packed house in front of so many people, which he never ever would have had that kind of experience. The position he was getting into, playing against Nathan Lyon or three quicks and playing his natural game was really good to see. So for me, it's not only about the technique but the approach of a batsman which makes him special. So I really enjoyed the approach of Mayank. And I think everyone were overawed, or they were not having any plan when they were playing when they're playing Nathan Lyon. But the way Mayank Agarwal was using his feet, was not afraid to use his feet and play the big shot over mid-on, was not afraid to play the cover drive, and he showed right from the first over he was facing Nathan Lyon where he had a plan against Nathan Lyon, and that's really good to see.
Okay, let's take a look at the runs that Mayank Agarwal got. 76 not out, remember. Where are the areas that he actually picked up those runs, that 76 runs that he got for India? And there you can see this is in fact the highest score by an Indian player in Australia. The previous one came way back in 1947. Just tells you how tough it is to debut in Australia. Mayank's done it with aplomb, getting those 76 runs. He'd be slightly disappointed there because the way he got out, edging one down the leg side, because 100 on debut, that'd be stuff of dreams.
I think he wouldn't have been disappointed because he didn't play a bad shot. That's something which, there was extra bounce from the wicket and he just was a little late. He was beaten by pace as well. But I think he'll be very proud of the way he batted and the way he approached this innings, because someone making his debut as an opener in Australian conditions, landing just 4 or 5 days before the test match, didn't even play a practice game. How often does that happen? Because usually the players who are on the touring party get to play at least one practice match, if not two, acclimatize to the conditions, have good net sessions. But here someone is just landed and played a test match, and the way he batted, it just didn't look out of sorts. It didn't look out of place, and that's, he should be very proud of his approach, and I'm sure that he'll have a very bright career, and I'm hoping that the Indian selectors will invest in him and back him, because what India requires is now a good opening pair, and I think he's shown signs of someone who can bat in that position and with authority.
Okay, Brad, for someone who's played at the MCG, couldn't have been easy, Boxing Day Test, 73,000 odd people there, wanting Australian bowlers to do well, and you walk out as a debutant. For you, has he passed that test, that international cricket test? We keep talking about the runs that he got in domestic cricket, but getting it in international cricket is another thing, and then on this particular stage that he has.
No, he was nothing short of fantastic, Mayank Agarwal. I think today he delivered exactly what Team India and his captain wanted, or would have thought he could deliver it. And in front of a packed house, Boxing Day Test, there's no bigger stadium. So for him, he's passed all tests, and the future looks bright. Really is. He can keep pushing and pushing from here on in, and Mayank Agarwal could be a long-standing name in that Team India side.
All right, just looking ahead to now, day 2, what do you think India, you were of the opinion they should bat till T. That's Absolutely. Looking like a reality.
Yeah, and that's what Team India should be looking at. And that's what Virat Kohli, Ravi Shastri will be telling to all the batsmen to follow, because there is depth in this Indian batting lineup. With Jadeja playing, now he'll be coming at number 8. So it's very important to post a big total. And I can assure you that the wicket will deteriorate. When we saw with the second new ball, the last few overs, there was up and down bounce, uneven bounce. So Australia has to bat 4th in this test match. So I think it's very important to take this foundation which has been created by the top 4 batsmen and make it count, and bat till T tomorrow. You can get close to 450 runs.
Okay, 450, that is something that they should have in mind. Okay, going into day 2. Okay, time now for our special segment, and this is called Fab 4, where we ask our experts actually to pick the players they think will do well on a certain day. We saw the score up until tea time. Brad Hodge was leaving slightly, by a slight margin, he was leading VVS Lakshman. Let's see what is the score at the moment. Lakshman's Fab 4 were Virat Kohli, Cheteshwar Pujara, Mitchell Starc, Josh Hazelwood. He's got a total of 125 points. Pujara is the one that's given him maximum points. Let's see what Brad Hodge has got. I know that he's got Cheteshwar Pujara, so that will, neutralize the effect that he got at that start. 138 points is Brad Hodge. Pat Cummins giving him the 60 points, and then you had, of course, Cheteshwar Pujara giving him the points, just as he gave VVS Lakshman as well. How is the leaderboard looking at the moment? Brad Hodge with 138 points, but that margin has really come down. Well done, VVS Lakshman. It was what, I think more than 50 runs at tea time, and that's very, very close. Okay, looking ahead to day 2, Brad, on your comments, VVS mentioned how you would like the Indian team to target 450. Looking at the way the pitch is played up until now, you think Australia, would they be looking at reducing them below 450, or would 450 be a little too tough in the first inning itself?
Well, it can happen for sure. I mean, you can get some wickets early. You can do that if you get them 5 down and get some, Rohit Sharma and Rishabh Pant early to the crease. Then that may happen. But they've still got to get through the 2 at the crease and Ajinkya Rahane, which is going to be tough. So that'll be their goal. Whether they can do it or not is a different matter.
All right, we're getting plenty of questions also. I'll try and take all those questions from the viewers. But quick predictions now for day 2. VVS, will start with you. Who are the 4 players that you're going to pick?
I'll go with Pujara, Virat Kohli, Rohit Sharma, and Pat Cummins.
Rohit and Cummins. Okay, to you, Brad.
I'll go Rohit Sharma, Pujara, Rahane, and Mitchell Starc.
And Starc. Okay, so the 2 difference I can see right now is Rahane and Mitchell Starc. Thank you so much, Brad. I know you need to leave, but we've got plenty more coming with VVS Lakshman. So stay on. We'll try and take questions of all those viewers that are sending us their questions on our YouTube channel as well as Facebook. I've got one question already coming in there from Jatin Sangati, and he wants to know, is it effectively the end of Murali Vijay's career, test career?
It looks like, you can't rule out any player making a comeback, but having said that, the decision which the team management have taken today, after 2 performances which have been bagged from Murali Vijay, to leave him out, shows that I think it's very difficult for someone like Murali Vijay to come back, because there's a youngster in Prithvi Shaw who did really well against West Indies. He's injured. Now Mayank Agarwal comes in a tough situation, getting to play against Australia, getting a half century on debut, and the manner he got those runs, I think it will be tough for Murali Vijay to come back into the team. So yeah,
Okay.
it will be very sad. I just felt that today he should have got an opportunity, because just after 2 test matches, as experienced as Murali Vijay has contributed so much to the Indian team, when you've got back into the test team, because he was dropped after the England side. I think he deserved one more chance today in this game.
Luck also plays a vital role. Imagine if he got a chance on the flat track that there is at Melbourne, probably could have got a few runs. Getting a lot more comments, and most of those comments are effectively saying this match will end in a draw. Most Indian fans think that there will be plenty of runs both for India and Australia to score, and in fact that is what was being predicted as well at the start of this test match, because looking back at the last year, we had plenty of drawn matches. Okay, got more questions now for VVS Lakshman. This has come through Instagram, and we've got Prabhu wanting to know thoughts on what would be the ideal first inning score. I think you
I think India will be disappointed if they don't get a 450 plus on this wicket, especially after the foundation the top 4 batsmen have given. So Prabhu, I think the answer would be 450 plus.
Okay, Prabhu, I hope you got your answer. Okay, we've got another question there. This one's coming through Facebook, I believe. Let's take the next question from, who's this from? Jamie. Okay, another one from Instagram. After day 1 alone, does the MCG pitch deserve another poor rating?
No, I don't think so. It should be deserving a poor rating, because you don't expect always a flat surface or a surface which just will assist the fast bowlers or the spinners. I think it's still a good test match wicket. Yes, there's not enough of pace on that wicket, but I think we can judge this wicket as the match progresses, and we'll be surprised that on the 3rd evening or the 4th afternoon, there will be a lot more for the bowlers than what we saw today. So it's very difficult to judge on the first day of the test match.
I was listening to a bowler in Murli Karthik in commentary who was of the opinion, he was with us at the last test match, of the opinion that whenever a pitch does something for the bowlers, it's considered poor, but now it's helping the batsmen, no one's going to say it's poor.
Yeah, so I think, see, as long as it's not dangerous, I wouldn't rate any wicket as poor wicket.
Whether it's helping the bowlers or
Doesn't
the batsmen.
matter, yeah, because that's
Okay.
what you want. Ideally, you want a wicket which does give you an opportunity to both the departments, whether the
Right.
bowling department and the batting department, and you want good competition between bat and ball. But if it's a placid wicket, I think you don't enjoy test match cricket, and if it's a dangerous wicket, then it will be harmful for the players. You know, so I
Okay.
think I'll never ever rate a wicket poor until unless it's dangerous or harmful to players.
Okay, we'll wait 4 more days of cricket action to come on the MCG. Okay, we've got another question here from a viewer, and we'll try and take that question to VVS Lakshman too. Remember, pitch has been something that's being debated amongst fans as well as experts, and Vivek says Prithvi Shaw and Mayank Agarwal will be future openers for India.
Yeah, they are, definitely. You know, the way Prithvi Shaw played against West Indies and the way Mayank played today, there's no doubt that it's important to invest in them. And I'm very impressed with their mindset and their approach. You know, and as they become more and more experienced, I think their technical aspects will become better. But I think what was impressive was their approach, which was excellent to see.
Okay, if these two are your openers, who's your number 6? Rohit Sharma / Hanuma Vihari?
Well, at the moment it's Hanuma Vihari, but never know. Rohit Sharma has got an opportunity to establish himself. See, he's been given a lot of opportunity, and I felt that this series can be a breakthrough series for Rohit Sharma. He started off well at Adelaide, but unfortunately played a poor shot in the first innings, were not able to convert that start into a big score. Second innings he got out early. So I think this is an ideal wicket, ideal situation for someone like Rohit Sharma, and can come and establish himself in the side by scoring a 100, you know, because someone of his class, if he doesn't score 100 in a test series, then he's not doing justice to his potential.
Okay, we'll take one final question. We've taken it from Facebook, from Instagram, just so that our viewers on YouTube don't feel left out. We've got one there from Suraj Sugunan, and he wants to know, is drop-in pitch the future of cricket given their standards of producing at?
Well, I think Suraj, I still feel ideal wicket will be something which is very natural, because the drop-in wickets, I've never been a big fan of those drop-in wickets, and it's proven right in this series, because the way Perth wicket behaved, when I used to travel to Australia, there was a certain character of the Australian wickets, barring MCG, because MCG was the only wicket which was a drop-in even when I was playing. And when you went to Adelaide, when you played at the Gabba, when you played at the SCG or at Perth, there was a certain character to that wicket, you know, and more importantly, the wicket adds something for the bowlers. But what we have seen in this series so far, that the drop-in pitches haven't been so effective, neither at Adelaide, even in Perth, it was uncharacteristic as far as the Perth wicket was concerned. And you can see MCG. Last time when the Ashes matches happened, you could see a flat wicket where we all thought that the match would go on till the 7th or 8th day. You know, so I'm not a big fan of the drop-in wickets.
Okay, we will stay on with us now to our special segment, and this is Undiscover Australia, brought to you by Tourism Australia. You're wondering where Brad Hodge had to run? Well, he's taken Shivandi Dandekar to go and see the great MCG.
So here we are at the MCG in Australia, one of the most beautiful cricket grounds in the entire world, where some of the greats have taken centre stage. And today I'm going to get Brad Hodge to show me around and give me a little inside tour.
So what they do is these pitches get made outside of the stadium, and they bring them in with trucks, crane them on. You know, you can see that after the AFL footy grand final, they just rip it straight up, dig down, make it about so much deep, and the trays are about that deep. Just crane them in, put them in. So it's pretty cool. So the test match wicket is probably the one where the tractor is in the middle. So it's probably where we'll see Virat score 100, more than likely. Very good for Indian batsmen. Very good for any batsman in particular. So yeah, it's a good stadium. Mind you, in the Indian stadiums are pretty good now as well. Like really the development I reckon's been outstanding. Wonketti's a great stadium. You know, great
Well, when
for
it's the bi-
spectators, great to play.
When it's the biggest sport in the country.
Yeah, it has to be.
Has to be, right?
You see the size of it compared to Indian grounds. I'd imagine, like when you bat on Wonketti, it's probably half the size of this, and you feel you can hit a 6 anytime. But here you have to actually, if you don't hit it in the middle, you know, you're probably going to be out.
Brad promised me some batting practice, so we head off to the nets.
Here we are. We're just entering the
Oh, the nets.
the nets. Yeah, these are the indoor nets. So this is where we do our winter training because it's freezing cold.
So no excuse then. So am I bowling or am I batting?
I think you have to have the bat. Shot. Yeah. You're natural.
Did you just underarm bowl to me? That's it, that's the one right there. I'm ready. Oh, moving back now. I love it.
Thank you, Chance.
Should I even be handing you the bat? Can you do it?
I'm ready. I'm nervous. There you go.
Out!
General reaction when you get out.
Throwdowns with Brad Hodge in the MCG. How epic. In the next episode, we head to the National Sports Museum.
All right, VVS Lakshman still with us. What an imposing stadium that MCG is.
Unbelievable. Unbelievable. You know, it's one of the best. But it's like it doesn't really have the character
Character.
of a Lords or a SCG or Eden
Adelaide.
Gardens. Yeah, but it's huge. It's huge, and for a youngster, you know, you look like an ant when you're out there in middle. You know, especially on a Boxing Day Test match when it's packed. It's unbelievable experience for any youngster.
Okay, plenty of questions coming in. I'll throw a few to you. Isa wants to know, and this is a follow-up to a question that I had asked you about why is it that the Indian batsmen are getting hit so much. You were talking about the length that were being bowled. Isa wants to know, would you as a batsman be pulling those balls?
Yeah, absolutely. You know, because on this wicket, I would rather play positive pull shots than just look to defend or sway away. Because when there is not much of bounce, it's better to play positive and better to play shots than actually just looking to be defensive. And I would definitely play the pull shot more on this wicket than probably on a wicket like in Perth.
Okay, Naveen K wants to know, did Tim Payne miss a trick just keeping 2 slips to Stark? He should have kept 3.
No, not on this wicket because majority of the times Stark gets the ball into the right-hander. You know, very few times it goes away from the right-hander. So I think 2 slips were enough. You know, but what was Stark looking to get? The way he wanted to get Virat Kohli out was with the ball coming in LBW or a bowled. And one odd is surprised by taking it away from Virat Kohli. So 2 slips were enough.
Okay, with the uneven bounce that we saw, Rahul George is of the opinion that Jadeja will become very, very crucial here. You share the same opinion?
Yeah, Jadeja will be crucial with the foot marks of the fast bowlers. I think that will come into play as the match progresses. And Jadeja, we know that he's very, very accurate, almost like Nathan Lyon we saw at Adelaide, where Jadeja has got the ability to bowl straight and into the foot marks consistently, and that will be tough for the left-handers, and Australia have got a lot of left-handers in the top order. But I feel even the fast bowlers will come into play because whenever there is uneven bounce, bowlers who can bowl consistently above 140 kilometers per hour, they will be also very effective on this wicket.
All right, a lot of you are asking what should be the strategy for tomorrow. Well, VVS Lakshman's already answered that. He is of the opinion that India should try and bat till tea time and then get about 450 runs. That should be a good strategy for India. VVS Lakshman, thanks so much for joining us. We are looking forward now to day 2 of the test match. You are watching ESPN Cricinfo Match Day, brought to you by Maruti Suzuki.